Hello, everybody. Or every one person, whoever's here. Oh, that's why. Okay, that one unmuted. That one unmuted. There we go. I got it. Hello there, long hair, skinny eye toe, and Linda Denton. I am here. I was talking not too long ago how I'm making a book cover, how I want to make a book cover. Hi, Moira. And Shell AU. Okay, now don't forget, this is a FAFO project. If you have kids around, cover their little ears. It's a fuck around and find out project. So I got both cameras going here, and I'm making decisions as I go. Just so you know, where is it? I had a couple things. So obviously, I've got the watch what I'm doing camera that just immediately went out of focus. Oh, that's going to be awesome. We still are figuring out. Where am I going to put my? I don't need my mouse pad or anything out unless for some reason it's going to be cotton. Yes. Okay, that I need my hammer. Okay. I was screwing around last night figuring out materials, and I do have eyelets. So I have these ones in plastic, and I have these ones in metal. The metal ones come with a little tool. You have a hammer. The plastic ones also have a little tool. So I happen to have everything. And I'm still deciding. I think I might a hammer for sewing. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. This is going to be the front. That's going to be the back. So one of the things that you have to do when you're figuring out no matter what you're doing, you have to decide. It's like any project. You have to kind of decide. Want to say hi and support the awesomeness of this, Peggy. Love the fabric. Do you know if you have any bags or that material in your shop? I think I have a couple of minis, not in the shop yet. I have a couple of minis that are coming into the shop, but this is all I have left. So, yeah. So basically, what I did last night, because I was digging around for this stuff, and it's like I need to practice and find out if I even know how to do it. So I'll show you how these two work. I'll show you how these two work to stop. Not taking the hammer to your sewing machine. I hope that's what I did once. Yeah. No. I went digging around to see if I had eyelets because people were mentioning eyelets, and it's like if I have eyelets, then it's probably going to be easier. I don't know if it's going to be easier or not. To do eyelets, I'm going to need to do 6 of them, but to put in these ones, I'm not sure what I think though, because see all the puckering and stuff. They do have a learning curve. They have a learning curve. I don't know if you can also see how they got kind of mashed. So for these ones here, for both of them for starters, you have to make a hole, right? And this set over here comes with this little itty bitty awl, and it's not big enough. But you put a hole in that's now not big enough for your plastic pieces. So you got to go in here. You got to put in a stitch ripper, and here's what you got to do. You got to put a tiny hole. The hole has to be. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use the eyelets, but since I have it open, and some of you guys might be deciding on whether or not you're going to use eyelets, they're not super expensive. This is $3.79 Canadian for a pack of, how many was in this pack? 25. They're not super expensive. So you've got 2 eyelets. You got a big one. I don't know if you can see that. One's taller than the other. You need 1 of each. Okay. And there's probably better ways. Hi, Kendra Sturny. I never had to make the hole different. Wait. What did Linda say? Yeah, using plastic ones. See, I've got a set of plastic for doing. This is what else I've got. Let me just go get the rest of it. I'm back. Okay. So this is, we'll put one of these in too. Why not? I'm not going to, I might use one of these. So these are really simple. One of these, I don't know why these come all messed up, but they do. Let me just do this. Anyway, hi everybody. I have corn cozies I should be working on. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm working on a book. I know I'm making I still make the bags, but I'm making a book cover today. And this is definitely I have no idea what I'm going to end up with. So this is what, they don't need to be the same. This is what this tool is for. Basically for this tool here, this tool is actually for these plastic ones for making snaps. Oh, that's why one side of the snap, there's another bag with the other side of the snap. So you make a small hole, and this has a little baby spike on it. And then you put the spike through the small hole. And they're fiddly, but you're not doing anything super crazy. And if your fabric is light enough, you don't even have to do that. So you put that there. You put that over top. Then you put the whole works into your crusher thing. Get it lined up. Take your time. Don't go crazy. Squeeze like you're trying to kill something. And then, so that's for putting snaps on things. Now, and that one, so that's what this piece is actually, that's what this is actually for. So for doing an eyelet, for me, for the type of eyelets that I have, and I'm sure there's different types out there. Yeah. So for this one here, you get in there and you make the tiniest hole. And the problem is you don't want the hole to be too big. Like, I mean, this is tiny. And then you put the long piece through the hole and just push and push till you get it down where you want it. This is the metal one. So you push that into place till you get it where you want it. If there's any loose threads, you just get your thread cutter in there. Because if the hole is too big, this entire thing, this is why you have to make the decision now. Because if this goes on wrong, and then that just slides over the top, right? And then you have a little tool that comes with the metal. This is the metal one, right? You have the little tool that comes with them, and you put them very carefully over the top. I know there's other tools to use. This is what I've got. And then you just give it 2 or 3 whacks, and now it's on. But it's not perfect. It's not perfect because actually it is fine. There's no because. Basically, what I will say is if you make the decision that you're going to use this type of thing where you put them on yourself, take a few, make a few. Yeah, this one's on properly. Make a few practice ones because I don't know if you can see it or not. This is the one that I just did, and see how much better it looks than the other ones that I tried. It does take a bit of practice. That's why I'm stopping. That's why I'm stopping before I even start to show them to you. So the metal ones go on with a hammer. That's the thing. But I think once the metal one's on, they'll be sturdier. I haven't decided yet. The plastic ones go on exactly the same. You make your little hole. The trick is not to push your way all the way through. At the end, can you link your shop, please? I need a bag. My shop is Sparks Creations on Etsy. Ugh. Let me just link it now because I will forget. If I don't do it now, I will forget. There we go. There's a shop for anybody who cares. Okay, so I'm over explaining this for a reason, and I'll be friendlier in a minute. I'm over explaining this part for a reason, just simply because when I was messing around last night deciding if I wanted to use these at all, right? And I realized that if you make the hole too big, this entire thing relies on the pinching action of these two pieces to stay in place and keep that from fraying and doing all the things. And I know there are hole punch tools you can get. I don't have one. And if you don't have one, this is what you're stuck with. And you don't want to make it so big that you're just putting it together and having it not be attached to anything. So that one goes like that. You put the long piece through, you put this piece through like this. Now I suppose I'm going to try this. Because using this, it was a mess. That was okay because it's not exactly the right tool, but this should work because they're the same size. Aren't they 3/16, 5/32? Let's see. Oh, I like that better. Okay. There's the first two I did. And they're kind of messy and not very, you can see how messy they are. And this is the one I just did now. Okay. Anyway, you get these in packs enough to do like 20 to 25 at a time. I think I'm going to use the plastic ones, but I'm going to do the plastic ones, but I'm going to use the hammer because I like that better. This is not the right tool. So it didn't, I don't like the way that turned out. So I'm going to do the black plastic. Anyway, babbledy. How you doing? How's everybody doing? I wanted to show you guys that because people were taught when I was first talking about, when I was talking about this the other day, a lot of people were expressing opinions on eyelets, which was absolutely valuable opinions. And it was like, I wasn't even sure because I've only messed around with them. So I wanted to practice and I wanted to report my results is what I'm trying to get to. That's my punchline. But anyway, I'm going to do the plastic. And I'm going to, yeah, I think I like the plastic better because even the third one that I did here, the metal, I don't know. I guess now it's just a matter of the color, but I like how the plastic just popped right where I wanted it to. So I will say that if you're going to use eyelets and you haven't used them before, whatever eyelet you choose to use and whatever method you choose to apply them with, sacrifice a few to practice. Okay, that's your tip of the day. Okay, put that back over there again. Yeah, I think that's going to work really, really well, but now I have to make an adjustment on the actual, what the heck am I doing? Now I have to make an adjustment on the actual, where do I put my hammer? There we go. Hey, it just hung up beautifully right there. Look, just right there. Hangs up. I don't want it to get on. That's just a hammer I pulled out of, I think everybody's got a basic toolbox. That's just a hammer I pulled out of my basic toolbox. So it's like, ugh. So, thusly and therefore, where are we at right now? We are at, this is what happens when your house is a mess of shit. Remember I told you that the cord I use has the inner piece. I'm going to use the innards today because it's not the same as the paracord. Now I have to decide what one. My ironing board's right there, so that if I have to go iron, I don't have to go too far for too long. And I double checked the name, and I'm not sure who I started. I know I gave the wrong name before. Because Lisa told me, he said, "You dummy, that's not who sent you this." The person who sent me this goes online by Sky Blue. That's who they are on YouTube, and that's who they are on Facebook. So that is who sent me this. And this is the Rabbit Tarot. This is a book cover for just the book. And the book is, this is the book. This is what they sent me, and it's the sheets. Don't forget something else. I can screw up what I'm doing today and still have the actual paper holes. And I'm pretty sure Lisa has a. I'm pretty sure Lisa actually has a journal that she's not using that works with this multi-hole paper. So the idea today is to make a book cover. It's going to go like that. And this really is a FAFO day, so we'll see how this is going to go. I think it's going to, I honestly think it's going to be mostly planning and relatively small amounts of sewing because I've got to measure and I've got to decide because if I try to make this exact size and screw it up and it's too small, I'm going to be like kind of sad. But if I screw up and make it a little bit too big, I'm not going to care if it's a little big. A lot of book covers, especially hardcover. This is not going to be a hardcover, obviously. This is going to be a soft cover. Show that goes like that. That goes like that. That's how big it needs to be. If you guys have any questions about what I'm doing or why I'm doing it or whatever, if I can answer it, because some of this is just going to be, I don't know, I'm just doing shit, man. So this is a friction ball pen. I love these. I love these for a whole lot of reasons. This is a friction ball pen, and this pen lets me, so what if, so okay, 1/4 inch seams are what's common. So let's go 1/2 inch all the way around. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch all the way around, but I'm also going to, I get the luxury of this. You guys can see through the fabric, right? I get the luxury of putting this together any way I want. If I put that there, then I get most of this. You see that? You see this full moon thing? So maybe leave a 1/4 inch all the way around for a finished edge. I'm fairly new to sewing. See what I'm thinking about doing now. This is, like I said, I am just messing around and see what I end up with because because I sew for a living. I've got the fabric, right? If you're doing a project like this, try to make sure you're doing it from fabric that you're not going to cry if you lose a bunch of it. Anyway, if I line this up carefully, and go like that, wait. Now, this is a weird thing that sometimes happens when you're working with fabrics, okay? Because sometimes what you're looking at is sometimes what you end up looking at, this actually has an upright and a bottom because of the way the butterflies face. I was almost going to put this on sideways. Okay. Always take advantage of everything that you can. So if I put that there, I usually leave 1 inch. I usually leave 1 inch all around for a finished edge. When I'm doing a reading cloth, of course, I do the decorative stitch. So for me, it's about a 1/4 inch all the way around. But what happens is I estimate losing a 1/4 inch. You do your basting, and when you flip it, you kind of lose a 1/4. I always estimate that I'm going to lose a 1/4 inch because of the tiniest bit of shifting, right? So a 1/4 inch for the. A 1/4 inch for that, and then I'm going to add another 1/4 inch here. I'm going to add a 1/2 inch all the way around because if this turns out a little too big, I will be fine. But if this turns out a little too small, I'm not going to be. I'm just getting started. I was going over a little bit. I found, I already pitched them. I found grommets. I mean, yeah, I found out that I've got grommets. I've got plastic and I've got metal. So I was just like reporting back on my findings as I was messing around with them. So you haven't missed a lot, Gail. I'm just getting ready to measure. And I've decided I'm going to intentionally go a little big because if it ends up a little small, I won't use it. But if it ends up a little big, who cares, right? And the fabric that I'm using, I'm just orienting it right now because which one's going to be the front? I got to use that one. Okay. My fabric, I'm using this fabric, okay? And it's relatively big. It's big before it starts repeating, and I can see through it really easy. So this is what I'm doing. I am finding this will be the front. This will be the front, not this. If I line it up with this, that's going to be the back. And if and there's the butterflies that are on here are directional. So for this to be the front, then the front page has to be there. So that's where I'm going to line it up from. This is a scrap piece. I know I could be doing other things with it, but I don't have to, so I'm not going to. So that will be the front when the book is closed, right? That's going to be the front. So I want that to be the front. I will tell you right now, take your time and don't be afraid to go, oh, well, that's going to, don't be afraid of that. Never be worried about doing that. Because especially if you have something that's lined up, there's a butterfly at the bottom and there's a butterfly at the bottom and this moon can be nearer to the top. So I'm going to do that. Okay. I don't mind if it goes near the top. So I've got that. You guys might not be seeing this very well. This is a friction erase pen, so it will the edge. I'm just going, okay, I'm gonna go right along the very edge so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I know you guys can't see it. I'm losing almost a 1/4 inch just to the plastic sheets. Okay. So I can see this, but I just wanted you guys to see it. I don't know if that's actually helping or not, but come on, you can do it. You can do it, mister. Yeah, there you go. So you can see it. So I've got to measure from here, right? So I want, and these don't really have an up or a down yet. I'll obviously make sure that goes in properly. There needs to be some space. There needs to be some space for that. So when that goes down, so this is going to be, I can actually measure it. If you're thinking of following along, just make sure you take this width here into account when you're spacing everything. But yeah, I don't have measurements on any of this stuff, so I'm just guessing. And I don't mind if it's a little wider. So I'm giving that about a 1/2 inch. So now I'm going to take, like I said, see, yeah, you guys can't really see that, but I marked that just to help you guys see something that you still can't see anyway. Okay, line that up. I'm going to make a 1/2 inch border all the way around. And because I've got a bigger ruler, I'm just going to I've got a really big ruler, so I'll probably be using that soon too. I'm just taking my time. This can shift around a little bit. Honestly, the process is just to not be afraid. Like I said, this is fabric I can afford to waste. If you're like, use an old t-shirt, who cares, right? So because this is one of those schmancy ass rulers, I measured a 1/2 inch up here and a 1/2 inch down here. So now I can just hold it in place and just go right around that corner. And I'm still going to use the same method I use when I'm making my bags. And that is, I'm going to chunk this out bigger and just sew right along that. A lot of people cut the line. There's ways to do this, right? Okay. And then I'm going to go out. And because this is a FAFO project, I'm going to bring this back. No, you're not coming back. You're staying there. Because this is a FAFO project, if things are not perfect, I don't need to care. So now what I'm doing is I'm bringing this back a little bit so that now I can just go around the corner on this end, because I can line my stuff up along that line that I made here. This one here, I'm going to drop that. I'm going to drop my ruler right on that line and then line it up with the little line that I started here. And I'm going to go to there. Nope, I'm going to drop it right along. I'm going to draw it back 1/2 inch right there. This is, oh, you guys aren't seeing it anyway, but I'm matching it to the plastic, not the paper. I'm matching it to the edge of the plastic and not the edge of the paper, because obviously I don't want the plastic sticking out when I'm done. Okay. Now this is 12.5 inches total. I'm lining up this here so that I can just slide it up. I want it to stay as square as possible, right? These rulers with all the mega markings can be really, really life-saving in terms of just getting stuff done. And I'll line that up. I'll line that up. And that stays right where I want it. Go up to the corner, slightly off the edge. Here we go. That kind of, those two aren't quite lining up, so I'm just going to double check. Aha. Every now and again, the fabric will shift around while you're working on it, so double checking your measurements. You do the same thing with wood too, right? Before you're, oh, well, you have a good dinner, Linda. Don't forget when you're Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I've already got my pages out of order. There it is. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Whew. Thankfully, they're all numbered because we already talked more than once about how crappy I am at remembering all my tarot stuff. So that's the size for this. Now, scissors. There's scissors over here. Which scissors do I want to use? Where are my good scissors? My good scissors are missing. Oh, there they are. My good scissors are on a different peg. Okay. What are you having for dinner? Yeah, she's got to go make dinner, but I'm going to like make it difficult. What are you having for dinner? I want some too. Okay. So I am just trimming this down lightly. Giving myself lots of space here because I am just going to, my camera's in the way or I just get out my cutter and do it properly. But that goes in the, I don't know what pile that's going to go into right now, but that goes over there. That goes over there. Basically, if you leave all this stuff here, I'm one of those people that cuts and then uses my sewing foot to guide for seam allowance. I do that too when I'm quilting. When I'm doing this, when I'm doing these kind of projects, it's easier for me personally not to do it. But yeah, if I'm making bags or stuff like that, I do know how to sew like that. I'm so used to doing it this way that a lot of times it's faster. But if you're gonna cut then sew, then whatever you've decided on your seam allowance, whatever you've decided you want your project to turn out to be, make sure you're adding at least 1/4 of an inch for your seam allowance as well. So I decided on 1/2 an inch out. I decided for 1/2 an inch clearance all the way around. So I suppose if you're gonna cut first and then sew, you probably want to think about 3/4 of an inch. I don't know. This is what I'm doing so far. I said this to a friend the other day. I have a habit of when I'm offering opinions, I sound like I'm telling people what to do. And this really is a FAFO. I have no idea what I'm doing. But anyway, I am just offering an opinion that if you're following along or liking the idea and think, I'm going to do one for myself. If you're the kind that trims and then sews to the seam out here, add an extra thing. Okay, that one's done. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because if I want to do the grommets down the center, which I'll have to measure for them in a bit, if I want to do the grommets down the center, but I also want some stiffening. I also want it to be stiffer. I want the grommets down the center. I don't want it to be just pure fabric. I don't want it to be pure fabric. So now I either have to, I've got several products to pick from. This is an iron-on interfacing. If I iron it on, I have to read. No, I don't. Okay, I'm going to redneck this up. I need a better term. Wow, FAFO is a better term. I always say I'm going to do it the redneck way, but redneck means something different these days, and I don't know if I want to be associated with that word anymore. Anyway. I have to get a piece of fabric. Now, what I always do, I don't know if I screwed up or didn't screw up, because what I've got to figure out now, what I always do for me personally, a lot of people will just come in and just cut out exactly what they need. But because I already sew, it's like I already have stuff that I can do out of this. Don't go down there. I don't need you down there. I've got to cut this. Okay. I've got to cut it, and I'm right-handed, so I got to get it on the other side of me. If I try to cut from here, I'm going to make a mess. You know what? I can be a little messy. So I always cut, whenever I'm cutting personally, I always cut all the way across, because then I have a nice straight squared off piece that I can use for other projects. So that's how I do it. But I'm sitting here with an entire bolt of fabric. So for me, it's different. If you're going to do follow along the lines, If you're gonna do it the way I do it, if you're gonna sew your stuff together the way that I'm gonna sew stuff together, then you usually want your whatever's going to be at the back to be a little bit bigger than this so that you can line it up better and see it easier. And I did not, so I wasn't smart enough. I did not iron first. Got two choices. This is what FAFO turns into. You go, oh shit. If I should have ironed the fabric first, but I didn't. If I iron the fabric, all these lines are going to disappear. So I'm going to double check my measurements. 9 3/4 by 13 1/2. So what I'm going to do, okay. This is the stuff I was thinking of using. This is the stuff I was thinking about using. It's the same as regular batting, only it's thicker. I know they say don't use your sewing scissors for anything but fabric, but God, I'm lazy. Okay, I've got options. This is a fusible fleece that you just iron on. It'll be thin. This is, let's get a piece of this cut off here. Don't worry, I got my hand. I'm trying not to cut my hand, so it's fine. Oh man, this is not cooperating. I got to get it down on a flat surface. In theory, I happen to have a big, robust pair of scissors here. In theory, what you want to do is drop my hammer. Okay. In theory, what you want to do is you want to get this stuff. You want to open it up first and then trim it. Okay. I've got this stuff. Oh, my camera hates me again. Okay. Oh, I already fed my doggos. I took care of them before I started this because, yeah, they will bug me. Okay. So here's my dilemma now. Let's put this to a vote. I'm not cutting this piece yet. Suppose I can. I should cut this piece just to get it out of just to cut my mess down. Just to cut the mess down. So let's open that up. This is something that I do, not because you have to, but I already know that I'm going to want the pretty sides together. So I just cut it that way because I'm less likely to forget to flip things over. It's really easy when you're on a roll. You just stack it all up, do your thing, and then when it's time to sew, you forget to flip the bottom piece over. So if I just keep them like this while I'm sorting out life, it makes it a lot easier. Okay, so yeah, see now I've got that's big enough for that could be big enough for the liner of a pocket pouch or a large drawstring bag, or I could make so yeah, I always try to cut all the way across like this to keep my pieces nice and square. But it really depends on how big of a stash you've got. If you're stash light, then you're going to want to cut more for precision. But anyway, okay. Let's get over here. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up, but here's the thing. Ooh, I'm really glad. Okay, I left that. I made that mark in here where that thing was going to go, right? So now I'm gonna have to measure, and I'll do that later. But I've got 3 holes to go here. And I'll have to get one of the pages back out and do, oh, wow, I think I lined them up properly the first time. Do 3 holes here. But if I'm trying to put those grommets, look how thick this is. If I'm trying to put those grommets through this much material, I am not going to have a good time. It is not going to work. Unless, no, that's not going to work. So if I want to use that, if I want to, okay, here's my dilemma. If I want to do the grommets, then I have to have one piece of this that stops about here, right? Then I have to leave a gap so that I can get the grommets in, because there's no way those grommets are going in any other way. Then I put another piece over here. This is going to be, this shouldn't matter. It's me, Tammy. It says it'd be cool if you could add a pocket in front for your cards. Maybe, I'm not sure how realistic that is, but it's a cool thought. It is an amazingly cool thought. I did think of it because of the kind of project that I'm doing, because of the way I'm doing this, and because I've never done one before, I don't necessarily think it's going to make a lot of sense. But I can probably, if I add a pocket for the pages, if I add a pocket on the front, it'll also like just drag this whole thing down. I don't think it'll work. I don't think it'll work because of the materials I'm using. Because if you take a look, if you go look up making a book cover, if you go look it up online, you're going to find that most of them use like heavy cardboard and stuff like that, which I'm not using. So I wouldn't be able to get it to hold. But what I can do, because I do this all the time, is I can do this and make a matching, like maybe make a matching one. I don't have enough of this fabric left, but I could maybe go and make a matching book bag of some kind that goes with it. It'd be cool to add in pull strings to side. Oh, that'll be interesting. That would be cool. I don't know how that would work. That if I'm willing to use fabric glue, it's something I could add in later. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't want to do it that way right now. I want to get something functional. It's actually at the end of the day, this is a whole lot of overthinking for something that's going to end up being relatively simple. But what I have to decide right now is, do I do this all the way across and just have a nice, that won't be too bad. Like, it's still going to be soft. It's going to be a soft cover. If I do this all the way across, then I end up with it could be, I could be done in the next like 5 minutes. Oh no, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. What would be really cool for something like that is it would have to somehow go all the way around. I could be done in the next 5 minutes if I just do that. And then use, because I've got this too. Okay, here's what else I've got going on. I've got fabric glue. Okay. So I thought there's a product called Fray Stop that you actually, Fray Stop is a product you use for embroidery, and it's even easier to use. It's just a little thing and you go dab, dab, dab. But I could take these little holes and just, I could punch the holes with my seam ripper, put them through, and then just put a drop of glue on to hold everything in place, and to just hold it all in place and prevent it from fraying out. Or in the back binding area, and then one on each. It would work. I just don't know how. It would be interesting. One on each edge. Yeah. Except for the way, what would happen though is all that loose string hanging would be a huge pain in the ass. So you'd have to adjust and then trim. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna try that. Oh, I got one more thing I didn't get out. There it is. Gotta get those up. I got stuff out. Okay. Do I a FAFO? Yeah, a FAFO for. Oh, I love FAFO projects. Okay. Do I make the grommets work, or do I skip the grommets and do it the other way? Anybody have a vote? Okay, I know I need, this is the minimum size piece I need. So let's break this down. I will say that when you are using any of these types of material, when you're using this type of stuff, there's almost always a degree of waste. So that's a thing. Not waste, but you have to expect it. There's ways around it, but you should expect it. Okay, put that up there. Yeah, because if I just punch through, I gotta put this somewhere before I start losing pages. That would not be okay. I would not be happy if I went ahead and did all this and then lost pages. I'm just setting things in the worst possible spots. Now I can also, only one vote, but it's for grommets. Okay, that'll work. Okay. Now the other thing is I can stiffen this by either using my regular interfacing that I use already, or by using this. They're both iron-on, and it'll give me a stiffer finish. Let's see what we got going on here. If I were to take that, this is soft. No, this is soft, but it's not so soft once it's an added layer that's not so soft when you put it on. If I were to do that and then just trim it, no, I would trim it that way. I wouldn't be trimming it to size. I would just be trimming it that way. And then put one side on each side. I'm going to do that at least. That's a grommet idea. If it doesn't work, you can always change it up to a buttonhole. If it doesn't work, I can. There's plenty of ways. If it doesn't work, I can start over with some different fabric. So it's not going to be the end of the world. Here's the thing. It's not the end of the world. The thing is, when you're doing, especially when you're doing a FAFO project, they're fun, but you have to stop and think through your steps before you do them, because there's no step. There's not necessarily a way to fix it. So I'm going to put that one there. I'll put that one there. Okay. So if I do that, my measurements, this is part of the, well, that's part of the, no, it's still going to be fine. It has to be about that. Okay. That is part of the back, which is fine. If I do it that way, if I iron on, okay, this is an iron on and this is a sew on, right? So if I iron one here and one there, leaving space for the center, and then do the same with this, I'm going to have a pretty thick back. Basically, I need this. I need this to stay open because I already know that my grommets are only going to go through 3. I have extra grommets. Okay, kids, we're gonna go back. This is already a bigger piece than I need, so we're gonna sacrifice a piece. We're gonna sacrifice to the cause. Okay, I love FAFO projects, but sometimes they don't. Okay, we're gonna sacrifice to the cause. I got one piece of that. I said I was going to use the plastic, but I need the tool from the metal ones to use the plastic. Do I have something that's light enough for you guys to see? There we go. Okay. I have a piece of fabric that's light enough for you guys to see. I have that. I have an iron. So while we're waiting for the iron to heat up, how are you guys? What's everybody else doing today? I'm going to iron this on from that side. What we're going to do is I'm going to pop in a grommet and confirm whether or not it's going to hold that. And then this, I already know what I'm doing with that. That's already been decided. And then, where's my piece? Okay, that I already know is way bigger than needed. Okay. Let's just really go to town on this. Okay. Don't worry, that's not cutting into anything. Here's my hammer. This should be in every sewing room in the country. Okay. It doesn't need to be. I actually can do this without. I can actually do this without ironing, but I should do the steps properly. Oh, that's supposed to be off. Okay. Because see, when this is ironed, it flattens out quite a bit. It'll fluff itself back up. So what we're going to do 2 things here. Okay. I'm going to, where's my seam ripper? There it is. Okay. I'm going to try and stay near the back here. So I've got that in the front, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one with just this stuff. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Whew, okay. Leave that in place so nothing shifts on me. Okay, wish me luck, wish me luck, wish me luck. I'll tell you right now, half of the time when you're trying to sort out something that you want to do on your own, half of it, I would say 3/4 of it, to be honest, is just spending way too much time thinking it through and then the rest of your time doing it. Because I'm thinking, come on, you can do it. Get through, get through. You do want this to be tight. But not that tight. Okay, just a minute. This is the problem. The problem is all that hand control. I'm going to work on my paper piecing quilt and wait for the slow cooking dinner that's killing me because it smells. Oh, yeah. You know what? You get something like that going. You get the good smells going. And then next thing you know, you're snacking because you can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to have a snack. I can't. Oh, this makes me so hungry. I'm going to have a snack. Oh, off you go. You're going to have a snack. Now, one thing I will say, I'm just cleaning up those little extra things. One thing I will say, nope, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to drink myself. So I got that through the hole. It's got to be tight. It's got to be tight because you're counting on this to hold that fabric in place. I like the plastic. I think I have more control with the plastic. So definitely. Oh, for fuck's sake. Guys, this is a hole punch. I can just punch my hole. I'm going to do that for the next one because if that works. Okay, there's the tool. Yeah, I feel that. Okay. So I can do that. Now, so I can take this one and put it across the whole thing, which will give me an extra layer of stiffening and the grommet will still go through. Whew. Okay, now we're going to take, I gave myself some extra space because we're going to do that. And I'm going to put that back over top. Look how much thicker that is. Look how much thicker that is. I'm going to put that like that. And this time, I'm going to punch the hole properly. Well, it doesn't punch a hole in fabric. I'm pretty sure this is meant for leather. But now I know where to put the mark, so I guess that's fine. Now I know to make sure it's no bigger than that. Stitch ripper went all the way through. Okay, this is definitely going to be wish me luck. This is really hard because you got to put pressure in. Yeah, well, okay, this is a hole punch, right? But honestly, you're supposed to have it over a piece of wood and you're supposed to pound it enough that the punch starts punching into what's underneath of it. And I know I was being careful because I don't want to punch away. I don't want to punch a hole in my, I don't want to punch a big ass hole in my, in my cutting mat. Okay. I might, when it comes time to, there we go. I'm not 100% sure what this is doing. And I don't really care which way the grommet's facing. Okay, there is a top and there is a bottom, but honestly, it's going to be along the back of a book. Okay, this is the wish me luck, because if this works, then I'm just going to do, I have an idea that if I just put everything on, sew it all down, and not worry about life, as long as I can manhandle in the grommets, then I can just make this really simple and actually fairly fast. It's going on. Okay, there's enough space. There's enough space for it to go. I was afraid that this was going to not work. Okay. Decisions were made. Look how thick this is. And the grommet went in. The grommet went in properly. Looks like it's going to hold. They look like they're both holding about the same, and they're handling the thickness. One last test. One last test because I decided to make my life more complicated. Let's get over here. I am not making my life even more complicated. Now, don't worry. I got a pile of shit up on the machine here. I'm switching over to my if I can do it without breaking it. I'm going to switch over to my walking foot. Walking feet, it's really a pain in the ass. Yeah, it worked. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, bye, Kendra. Okay, so a walking foot is pretty easy. A walking foot requires you, when you're changing a foot, you're usually just changing that part, right? You're usually just taking off that part. To put on a walking foot, you're also taking off the shank. So it's not difficult. You just unscrew it. Now this is particular to come on, get in there. Why are you doing that funny again? Oh, there we go. A walking foot is not difficult to work with. It's not difficult to put on. They're just fiddly. They really are. Sometimes they go on beautifully like this is, and sometimes you're sitting there fiddling. I changed over while I was doing one video, I don't know, a couple months ago when I was talking to you guys, and didn't it take me like 10 minutes to get it on? The biggest problem is that this stupid screw, I'm right-handed and this screw is on my left-hand side, so I always feel like I'm doing it wrong because you're always feeling like you're working it backwards. Okay, last test, because I'm going to have to top stitch. I'm going to have to stitch all these layers together. Am I going? Yep. Will my machine handle it? And it will. Hey, and I've already got purple fabric on it. Okay. Passed all the tests. This is getting simpler by the minute. Simpler. Turn my ironing. No. Turn that back on. Now. Because. This is how it goes. Just don't judge me. This is how this shit works, okay? You start going, life is good, and then all of a sudden you got this big, massive mess that you don't know what to do with. Okay. Those go over there for now. Actually, those get put away for now. It worked. This is what we're doing. We are making life. Get in there. I'll tell you right now, I'm a bloody slob at the best of times, and when you're doing a project where everything is everywhere and in your way, and life is not loving you. Okay, now this is interesting because okay. I really do not want that to be the top piece. So maybe I don't want that to be on the outside because it's so thick. I know you're supposed to be able to go through this. I know you're supposed to be able to go through all this, but I kind of want. I'll do it. I will do it. Okay. So what I'm going to do when I iron this, when I iron this, all my markings are going to go away. So I'm going to have, I said what they were, 9 3/4 by 13.5, wasn't it? Nine and 3/4 by 13.5. Let's just find a piece of, there's a piece of scrap paper. Ugh. I know I'm making this look super, super complicated, but it's fun. I'm having fun. This is how I end up. Oh no, that's something else. That's standard PP per week. Oh my God, that was video game notes. Okay, 9.75 by 13.5. Okay, so we're going to drop that there. This is a regular pen, by the way. It's just a regular friction pen. So I'm going to give this a quick iron. I'm going to put that on top, give that a quick iron. And I'm just going to mark it and go, but I'm going to put this on top. This is what I'm going to be marking, is this stuff here. So I'm going to have to pin or clip it all down. I've got pins. It'll be fine. So, but first I've got to iron that, or it's going to look like shit when it's done. Leave my iron on? Okay. Go over there. I'll be right back. And I might as well iron everything while I've got it out. Say goodbye to my pen lines. I know I didn't move the camera over just because I'm going to be quick, or so I think. When you are putting on iron-on interfacing, make sure that you have your steam off. Most instructions call for no steam. Okay, come on, of course I didn't do it right. Oh, this one does call for steam. I'm not so smart. Or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Okay, when you're putting on an iron-on interfacing, they're actually really easy. They're simple. They're not a problem. But find out if there's any particular instructions that come with yours. I forgot that this one needs a bit of steam, just because it's trying to heat through a relatively thick layer, right? My regular interfacing, the stuff that I use for my other bags, they are no steam, and you put your iron down, count to 5. Pick it up. It's straight up and down. If you start doing this to iron it, you'll actually wrinkle up your fabric underneath and it'll be a mess. So now we do this. Now we do that. And we get that there. Make sure. Is that big? That's not big enough. I put my ruler down. Now I can't find it. There it is. Do. Now, I am going to pin first. Where's my pins? Oh my God, I've got such a mess. Okay. I'm going to pin, and I'm going to pin so that I can know exactly. I'm going to use the pins to be my corner markers. So I'm going through. I'll do that one. So my corner is there, right? We're still trying to figure out what would or wouldn't make a good camera, because it goes. Sometimes it's fine, then all of a sudden it's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. Okay, so I'm just finding my corner, putting that in there, and making sure that the corner of the pin, where the pin comes out, is not exactly on the corner, but it's close enough that when I'm making my mark, I can make sure I stay inside. Okay. There's that one. This is a relatively small piece, so I don't necessarily have to put a pin on every square. I don't have to put a lot of pins in, but the number of pins you use is the number of pins you need. And don't let anybody tell you. If I'm telling you, oh, I'm just going to mark my corners, and you're not comfortable with that, mark everything. I am going to put more pins in, though, because this stuff does like to move a lot. The thicker a piece of batting you have, the more likely it's going to want to move. So you're definitely going to want extra pins or clips or whatever you happen to be using. Now, obviously, if you are cutting and then lining it all up, this is where you start cutting. I do it the lazy way around. I call it the lazy way. I know it's not exactly lazy to do it this way, but for me, this has always felt easier. This has always felt easier. When I'm quilting, I don't do this. If I have 2 pieces of fabric to do it, I cut the 2 pieces and line them up. But I still got to get back to quilting. I still have Lisa's quilt to do. haven't even, I got it. I got the pieces pinned together, but that's about it. Okay. Something shifted. Get those in there. Let's just do that. Let's just take a look. Aha. That guy in the corner shifted. That corner. Okay, something shifted, and then suddenly this corner is not quite lined up the way I want it to be. So don't be afraid to take out a pin and put it back in until you get it where you want it, right? Everybody else on the planet points their pins to the inside. I point them to the outside because I am just special. And I'm gonna get a big ruler. There we go. I need the okay, 9.75. Let's get that over there, and let's get that over there. That's still pulling up a little bit. What did I do? Oh, it's just the way I put the pin in. Okay. 9.75. 8.5. That's going to be just barely big enough. And I have to decide where I'm flipping this. Okay, right there. Oh, this is exactly the right size. Did I give it enough space? It doesn't have to be perfect. That's about right. It's about right. Okay. Get my pen back out. If you are using the pen will show up better if I can mush everything down. Please, please, please. Oh, it's barely showing up. Do I have something better? Is it showing up? That's dried out. What do I have here? Aha. A marker works. A marker will work if you do it just right. Okay. So the original lining up of my fabric should still be okay, but it's not going to be as perfect as I was hoping. Okay, this is very, get over there then. By 13.5, perfect. You're gonna mark this the same way you would mark a piece of paper. You're just gonna go slow. Okay. La 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 la. You're gonna go slow, and you're not gonna agonize. You're not okay. It's a FAFO project. Just always every other word is a FAFO project. It's okay. It's a FAFO project. It's okay. There we go. La la la. Normally I would be marking this a little bit better because I'd be over there at the big table, but if I go over to the big table, you guys aren't going to see a damn thing. So I thought I'd stay here. This is all about struggling today. This is all about overcoming the struggle anyway. This is turning into, has anybody noticed what's going on? It's like as I'm sorting shit out, it's actually turning into a simpler and simpler project. Because what I've realized is that if I'd have done if I'd have gotten a measurement and then just done my 4 layers, all that agonizing back and forth sorting shit out, once I tested the grommets was like, oh, this isn't a problem. Now, where is the top and where is the bottom? I should have checked that before I started pinning things up. Which way are my butterflies facing? I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay. I'm going to make my turn hole. I'm going to make my turn hole right here where the top of the bind, where one end of the binding is going to be. Because I think if I turn it, if I do it anywhere else, it's going to be really obvious. If it's a bit messy at the top of the bottom, I can put a decorative stitch. I can do something. I can do something to schmancy it up and hide if there's any issues at that spot. So let's get it on the machine. I already happen to have a purple thread in the machine, so I'm just not even going to bother changing it. I probably could. Okay. I'm over here in the machine. You guys are looking at an empty table. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Well, that's not bad. It's clearing itself. No, it's bad. It's really bad. Come on. Yes, stupid thing. Don't mind me. Half of my life is bitching at this camera. Okay. Most machines, okay, the foot is up. The foot is up, right? Most machines, especially newer machines, if you push just a little bit harder, they'll go a little bit higher. So now, fortunately, that's as high as it goes with the thing, and I've got my knee lift, so I get a little luckier. If you really need to know where your center is, then don't be afraid to just go back with a ruler and double check it. Little back stitch. Oops. Come on, you can do it. This is just a basting stitch. So the stitches do not need to be super close together. Basting stitch is just holding it in place while you do something else with it. A basting stitch is a stitch that you're almost always going to be coming over it later with something else. This is a very, very pale blue marker that I've done. This is what I don't like about this stuff here. Is it super, super thick? So you got to come through. A little piece of it just got up and over the foot here. So you got to come up through and make sure that it's under the foot or it's going to start tearing itself up. Okay, is that good enough? Okay. So in theory, you want your finger to be just there. Make sure you get your pins out as you go. Ugh. Not like me at the last possible second, so you got to practically use pliers to get into them. Okay. So what have we learned? This is what I like. I'll tell you right now. These types of process, this type of a FAFO project is how I figured out how to make the. It's how I figured out how to make the bags that I make for my shop. Like, wait till this is done. If you want to make bookmarks and sell bookmarks, if you want to make book covers and sell them, you now can. This is actually surprisingly easy. Okay. I know you guys can't see. I know you guys can't see the mark that I made, but it's there. It's obvious. Yeah, I'm just gonna get my finger just before. I got my finger just before the things here, so that ideally it's not gonna pull up wads of batting over top of the foot. Ouch. Oh, what are you doing? Stop making noise. Oh, my machine's making noise. It doesn't like me. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Back it up a little bit. There. Now, move all the shit around and get it out of your way, because that's just how it works around here at the best of times anyway. So now I've got a square, a rectangle. This was actually really simple. So you take your bottom, you take your two pieces that you want to be the bottom and top, right? You take your two pieces that you want to be the bottom and top. You take whatever you want to be, whether if you want it to be just lightly, if you want it to be lightly thick, then you just iron on a piece of this. If you want it to be thick like I do, you put on another piece. And then you do this, and then you Can I do it with that one? I bet you can. Bet you I can't. Bet you I'll fuck it up. And if you're doing it this way, now for everybody else, you're going to have done an extra 1/4 inch all the way around, and you're already done. For me, I just trim a 1/4 inch all the way around. Take out anything that I'm going to save for later and drop it in a handy dandy save for later place. Take my notes and get rid of them. Okay, cross your fingers. Now we're closing in on that moment of truth. This is where we find out, because I might find out that I just wrecked a whole bunch of fabric and stuff for nothing. Okay. I will say I should probably be using a bigger rotary cutter. I always have to sew batting down with a piece of sew-in interfacing between it and the sewing machine. Otherwise, it gets all tangled up with the foot or the feed dog. Honestly, what I do is, as I'm sewing, this doesn't let me zoom in. As I'm sewing, the needle's here, right? So the needle's pumping along like this, and I've just got 2 fingers just before the needle holding it down so that it doesn't get tangled up. And I try not to vary my speed. That's all I do. And sometimes it gets tangled up. But I'm assuming that if you're getting it tangled, you would know how to get into your machine and fix it. The biggest skill you can learn as somebody who sews is how to open up your machine and clean out tangles and stuff like that as they happen. Because when you live in terror of that happening, and I know you've got more experience than that, Gail, so I'm just like, now I'm just segueing to general advice for everybody. But yeah, I guess I get lucky. Everybody has their own thing though, right? So I'm just doing a 1/4 inch. Now, people like to have what's called a turn tab. This is my opening here, right? This is where I'm going to be turning it. People like to have a turn tab, and that is where you go out extra around. So this will be a 1/4 inch. That'll be a 1/4 inch, and this can be up to 1/2 inch. So do that any way that makes sense to you. I always do this. I go at a 1/4 inch, and I get a little bit before where the opening is, and then I just angle the whole works up. And then when I get close to this, I just angle the whole works back down, and then I just straighten my ruler up and keep going. So I get the turn tab. See, it's there. It's there. And it just seems to be quicker, easier, smoother. It works for me. Now I'm going to, though, get my little scissors. I'm going to take off. I'm going to cut along here and take out some of that batting. The underneath batting was already like really tight along the line, so I don't got to do anything to it. Taking out some of that thick batting because it's going to be a pain in the ass when you turn it. Yeah, I feel like I'm a master at taking apart and servicing my machine. That sounds dirty. It does. Oh my God, this is... This is an eye crease pencil. It is one of my favorite tools for cleaning my machine because makeup brushes, okay, you're cleaning your machine, right? Now this is something else that I do. Okay. You're cleaning your machine and you've got a bigger brush. This is just a generic paintbrush, right? This is just a generic paintbrush. This is a makeup brush. So I do the basic clean with the big brush, okay? But you guys are supposed to be over here, not over there. Get back where you belong. Okay. But makeup brushes do not drop their hairs everywhere. So they don't add sometimes I've used a cheap paintbrush to clean my machine and then had to go back and clean my machine to get the paintbrush bristles out of my machine. Makeup brushes are amazing. They're super soft, so they're less likely to grab or pull at stuff on your machine. I'm really sorry about the camera. I got to start borrowing Lisa's camera. Lisa's got a camera that she can do streaming with. It's a much better camera than this because this camera does not like to. So now we're just turning it all inside out. But yeah, Lisa had a couple of makeup brushes, and it's like, hey, oops, I didn't trim my corners. People say trim your corners. right? And some people trim till they're almost touching the thread. I would rather have a slightly bulky corner than a corner that's going to pop through and start fraying from the corner. But that's a personal preference thing. Okay. Get through there, you. Get through there. Get through there. The amount of space that you're going to leave for turning this is really how much you're comfortable with, up to the individual. As you're turning it, try not to pull too hard at the batting stuff. Okay. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Come on through. Oh, come on. Come on, we're almost there. Now, I have to put in 6 grommets. Hope my neighbors don't mind the noise. I shouldn't laugh like that. I should, but oh well. No, I got good neighbors. It'll be fine. That is one of the disadvantages about being in a condo, because if you're doing certain artsy craftsy stuff, you just don't want to do it at certain times of the day. Oh my God, you know what? If I stuff this, I have a pillow. Look at that. If I add just a little bit more stuffing and close that hole, I have a nice little pillow. Hey, this is still going to work. Look. This is, where did I put it? I'm going to have to sort out all these pages later. Okay. Yep, that's okay. When this closes, that's the front, guys. That's the front. It's not perfect, but that's fine. Oh no, it is. It goes to the back. So that's going to be the front. And that's going to be the back. And it's sturdy enough. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I am going to agonize at this hole for a minute. When you turn these things, this likes to flip over all by itself and be friendly to you. But sometimes if you're not careful, but it'll like, see how the back is sticking up a little closer to the front. So you just want to, fiddle with it a bit. Iron it if you need to. Don't be afraid to get back over there with the iron. I'm just too lazy to bother. And after doing a few thousand reading cloths and all that other stuff that I do, I've got way too much practice, right? But just get it the way you want it. Now the top is going to be ever so slightly bowed up, and it's the top. Yeah, in theory, the irons. Yeah, my iron's off. In theory, I should be swinging back and in theory, I should be ironing that to get it nice and straight. But in reality, it's a FAFO project, and so far it's exceeding expectations. So this part was actually way easier than what I thought it was going to be. Really, really was. Okay, I'm back over. Now I am not going to do a fancy stitch. I'm not going to do a fancy stitch because I've got to put a bunch of stuff in here. But what I am going to do, normally I go about 1/8 of an inch and stay really, really close to the edge. I'm going to double check these. Okay, let me get back over here. We're not quite there yet. I'm double checking these because my holes are going to be going far enough away from the edge that if I put in like a half, I can probably go a 1/2 inch all the way around. Yeah, it looks like I can go. So I'm going to go probably about a 1/4 inch all the way around. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Hey guys, I'm going to show you this stuff, but first let me fuck up the camera. Okay, so because this is so thick, it's actually pretty easy to get it nice and like that. If you're going to have a little bit of the opposite side fabric, so if I'm going to have a little bit of purple showing through, then decide on which side you want it to have, because I prefer it to be on the back, obviously, for obvious reasons. Should I change that thread? Okay, this is the thread that I picked to go with that. I'm going to change it and put the proper thread on. These are 2 slightly different shades of purple, but this is the purple that I actually bought to go with this, to go with that design, because I didn't have a. If you put a thread on, most of the time it's going to kind of almost blend. I don't know how to describe this. I got to get a really good camera out one day, and do a little TED talk, do a short TED talk on on choosing thread, because quite often, unless you're like doing like, say you're doing yellow, say you're making a yellow dress, right? You're going to want a really good thread match. But when you're using fabrics like this, that have got multiple, when you're using these types of patterns that have got lots and lots of colors in them, all you have to do is get close, because your eye will supply the details. What am I doing? Oh my God, I got distracted and I'm trying to put my work into the machine and it's not even ready yet. Okay. Get up there. Get up there properly. Okay. Threading a machine, by the way, they always show you how to do it, and they make it look, it is super simple once you get the hang of it, but it's usually a two-handed process, and most people don't realize that. Like, to put my thread, okay, I've got my thread here, and I need it to go under there. You don't just go, well, okay, I guess you do. But usually, quite often, you're going to want to grab your thread from up here, and then guide it in, and stuff like that. So don't think you're doing something wrong if guiding your thread into doing different things is a two-handed process. It sounds silly, but it's very demotivational if you think you're doing simple things wrong, which is probably why I focus so much on simple things. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to get that sucker into there. Okay, I'm going to put that right there. Okay. So this is a walking foot. I've got no particular instructions on how to line up your fabric, but I'm just going to go all the way around once. I'm starting just before a dark spot, so that because I'm going to come all the way around, then go over it again. I'm starting just before a dark spot, so it's not going to be as visible where the thread covers over itself, and then we just do that. I'm not going to worry about any potential gap that's going to show up here. Oh, shit. I didn't leave enough. Yes, I did. I left enough. Barely, but I left enough. I don't think I left enough of that hole to close properly. But I'm going to deal with that in a minute. Okay. I'm not going to agonize about which side the purple's showing up on, as long as it's showing up. That's the top. Perfect. Okay. I'm thinking to myself, I'm planning my next step. This part here is fairly simple, so turn your brain off, enjoy the ride, and then plan your next step as you go. What I did up here is there's not enough. I'm going to have to go over this again up across the top to keep the fabric from popping out. So I'm going to make this really simple. I'm going to schmancy it up, guys. Okay, that goes there. And right over top of where I started from, 2 or 3 stitches, done. Okay, now it looks like a placemat. So basically, a super thick placemat, custom sized to what you need. That will be a good start for that. Nope, I don't need that out yet. Okay, so I have a potential problem that I have to avoid. That is that this where I made the hole is not quite big enough. I mean, this did not get caught here. So I've got to go over this because that's just going to pop open. That's where the opening was. So now what am I going to do? So I'm going to fold this in half, right? I've got a erasable marker. I'm just going to make it up as I go along. Where's the opening? It goes from there to there. So I'm going to go there. I can see that. To there. Okay. I don't have to give a shit. This is mine, right? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to go. Nope. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go over one. I'm going to take it right along the very edge. I'm going to go forward a couple. I'm going to go back a couple. And then I'm just going to close it up. And I've got my other mark there. There you go. That's closed. And then, this is where we get schmancy, kids. Then, this is where you turn a problem into a feature. Okay. So I did that. Now I've got that to that, right? Well, that looks weird. So now we're going to go like that. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Now we're going to go like that so that I can get my marker. Don't forget, this is an erasable pen. So I've just got to come along, make a mark here, make a mark here. Look at that. Look at that. And now I've got a feature. I don't have a problem. What problem? I don't have a problem. I have a feature. Just a second. One of my threads got in the way. There we go. Sometimes your bobbin thread will pop up and get in the way a little bit. And there's my other end right there. And back. Don't forget, if you have a if you are using a walking foot, yeah, a spine detail. Isn't that fucking cool, eh? So now I've added a feature. Now it's a feature. Okay. Now here's where we get. So far, we're nice and flat. Everything's good. Now, that goes there. Now it matters. Okay. Now which direction these guys are facing matters, because if something's off a little bit. So I want to do that. But if I'm really careful, yeah, which way do these go? Okay, that would be how the page folds towards me, like that. It fits. It fits. Okay, it's going to be a book. It's going to be a book. I'm just working up the nerve. This is where you can turn your entire project into garbage. And we don't want to do that. So go like that. Sorry, I'm just found a. When you find something that's stuck, when you run over your rotary cutter like this, you're digging into the mat below, and every now and again, in this case, lighter things like that, like it's this stuff here. Every now and again, lighter stuff like that will like just push into those cracks, and you really kind of want to. I'm going to be picky about it because I don't normally work with this product, and I don't normally work with this kind of stuff, and I do not want it getting all over my other stuff that I ask you kind and lovely people for money for. So I've got a spine detail. I've got this. I've got that. So I want it to stay just inside. I want to check and see if the other one will go just inside. Perfect. Okay. That's going to go like that. That's going to go like that. So now I am going to go and do I take, if you're really, if you're like I said, this is a FAFO, right? But if you're working with if you've decided you like this and you're working with something fancy and expensive, then you may actually want to take a little piece of masking tape and tape these down first. But I am just going to go, I'm going to have to do it from the front because I won't be able to see it. I'm going to flip this over. I'm doing this from the front so that I could, it doesn't matter. A hole is a hole. It doesn't really matter. I'm lining these up to the outside. I don't mind. I want this to be a little fluffy down the center because there's going to be multiple pages. If I ever want to add a page later, I can come back. So I am going to, I might just have to go get that masking tape. I'm going to go there, there, that, those two, whoops, get that one really dark. Something to keep in mind, by the way, is these friction pens, and a lot of people don't know this. Friction pens, if you write on something with a friction pen and then throw the item and write on something with your friction pen, use steam or a iron to get rid of it, right? If you throw that item in the freezer, the ink will reappear. So if you ever have a product that's from me or anybody, and a stain appears that you're not expecting or that a stain appears, put a little steam on the item, and put a little steam on the item, and if it disappears, steam or iron if you have one, of course, and if the stain immediately disappears, then you'll know that that's what was going on, that they used a friction pen as their marking pen, because friction pens are fucking amazing. And pardon me, everybody should have one. Where did I put my stuff? We're almost there. Okay. Now I've got my things marked. Okay. Here's my problem. Here's another one. I need an advice. If I sew a line here and here, that will look really cool from the outside, but sometimes it will make it more likely to bend. And I think I like the wraparound and don't necessarily want it to bend. I'm not sure. Yeah, that'll be fine. That's gonna work. That's gonna work. That's gonna work. I think I'm gonna skip it. I think I'm gonna make it easy on myself. I've been at this for an hour and a half, so I think I can make it easy. And I can always go back. I can go back and add extra stuff later. Both of the battings that I used are the kind of batting that do not need to be. This type of batting apparently does not need to be quilted, unless I am mistaken. Gail, you quilt, right? Gail quilts, and another one of you lovely people in here also quilts. If I'm wrong, tell me, and I'll come back later. I'll swing back later and do something. But when I went, I don't use that kind of batting very often. So if I'm wrong about this, I kind of need to know. But anyway. So now we're just looking at an extra fluffy placemat, and it's time to put in the holes. Nope, that one hangs up. Okay. I keep saying if anybody is following along at home, anybody actually thinking the polyester one is good to go as far as I know? Yeah, this is just an inexpensive polyester. So if I find out it's not, I can make another one. That I'm in the fortunate position. I just don't want to, I'm in the fortunate position I can make 10 of these and see which one I like best. I just don't want to give anybody bad advice. So if you're getting polyester batting, okay, 6 of those, 6 of the rings. I'm just getting all this out now so I don't got to screw around with it, which I'll screw around with it anyway. I've got to put in 6 of these things now. Okay. Whew. Now go straight down. I want to be careful. There's so many layers here that if I come in from an angle, I could end up cutting it here and coming out like up higher than I want to be. Hi, Bohemian girl. How you doing? I am just, there we go. I'll just do that. Go straight down. I wonder no, I'm not going to go digging for a piece of wood. So straight through, pinch it, get that in there. I'm just gonna, I put my circle right in the very center, so I'll just go a little tiny bit in either direction. Oh, I got all kinds of extra shit out here that I don't need. I'll put these in from the front to the back. Please don't shift. Please don't shift. It shifted. Of course it shifted. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. As long as I can get it through, I'm fine. Flip it over. Fuck you. Sorry, not talking to anybody in particular. Talking to my stuff. It's pissing me off. Okay. Remember, oh, you got your bag. Perfect. Perfect. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. Okay. Okay, you guys have, most of you guys have worn earrings in the past, I assume. Think of it the same way. If something's not working out, just back up, find the little hole that you've already made and try again. Okay, get that in place. I'm just finishing up my book cover, if anybody's bothered to wander in the last little bit. So now we are going to find out how badly I messed it up. Got an itch. I don't like having an itch. First one, first grommet. This is actually super simple. Just a second, I'll be right back. I gotta go blow my nose. Why did I have to blow my nose? This is weird. Can't tell if my nose is itchy or running, but I didn't want to take a chance. That would be a great way to end this. Blop. Can't even. Yeah, this is a nice one. This is the leftover. So I am being extra careful because I want these to line up. So I just pushed this straight down, then pulled everything up. There's other ways to make the holes, but I just don't have the tools, and I just don't want to. I don't want to have to go buy the tools. So I'm not gonna. Okay, anyway. But yeah, think of this like putting in an earring. So I'm just trying really careful. This is I'm making it look like I'm agonizing. It's not as bad as what it looks like. The problem here is that you don't want anything to shift and end up with too big of a hole. But yeah, it is literally just like putting in an earring. Well, of course, one went on the floor. That's why they sell them in packs of 25. There it is. Okay. I've only ever used grommets a few times, so I'm awkward. I'm very, very awkward, but that's okay. This is my FAFO project, and unless I do something really, really bad at the last minute here, come on. Oh, no, I'm not dropping another one. There we go. Okay. It's funny because they show this stuff on, you know, some of the people with actual real sewing channels show this stuff and they make it look so easy. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? This ain't easy. Okay, this is easy. It's just so fiddly. It's like, and they're like, oh, just put on your grommet. And it's like, yeah, you put on my grommet. Come on, come on. I'm going through so many layers of stuff here, though, that this is not a surprise. There we go. Well, that's working. The little ice pick works really well for that. Okay. Okay. Where'd it go? There it is. I get to hammer some stuff now. Do I get to make a really bad it's hammer time joke? No, they're not as well. Actually, they can be a little off. They can be a little off because of how I'm putting them together afterwards. I'm just going to use this cord. So if they're a little tiny bit off, it's not going to hurt anything. Pop it in, slide it up, switch it out for that. I suppose it's, unless you, okay. And never, ever, ever, I really need to sit down and do a video. If you guys want to see, demotivational shit, just look at industrial sewing, because my God, Come on, do it. If I can get it to go from the front, if I can get it to go while I'm still holding it like this, it's a lot easier, but it hasn't worked yet. Okay, that one's going through though. I think I got one like on the third try this time. Okay, anyway. Yeah. You're not gonna get this perfect. Well, okay, you will over time. You absolutely will over time, but don't expect to get it perfect your first time out because you are not a machine. You are not using a. I used to work at doing different factories and stuff like that. The machines that can get such perfection, yeah, that's not you. So, okay, there we go. There's one more. They're getting faster. It's getting faster. I'm just going to go straight down with this. I'm going to skip the, oh shit, that was easy. That was super easy. Yeah, the biggest thing here is the biggest thing here is the agony of making sure whatever you're making your hole with, making sure that doesn't slip so that you end up with too big of a hole. Did I get it again? Am I getting 2 for 2 here? That'd be cool if I could. 2 for 2. Right. Nope, not 2 for 2. This one's being stubborn. Why are you being stubborn? You're through. I can feel it. Okay, guys, we'll come back tomorrow when I'm finally finishing this up. God, this is stubborn. Okay, it's just the grommets. There is like this comes with a hole punch, but I don't have anything to punch the hole against because fabric just doesn't like to punch. This is the metal one is actually for leather. So I'm using the plastic ones. The black ones are the plastic. There we go. Got it. Whew. 4. Put the thing on. Put this on. So you force your small one. You force the long one through. You use the short one to cap it. 4 down. Not bad, eh? They're not perfect, but I don't care. So we're getting good. I am not going to iron this. I ironed everything as I was getting started. I think if I were to iron it now, it would press out the polyester, and I don't want the polyester to flatten out. So I'm going to skip. Well, normally there would be one last ironing stage. That might be a little too big. We'll find out. Come on. Oh, I've got just enough fingernail that picking this up is making them like slip and slide. Okay. Come on, did you go right? Did you go through? Are you through? I am so excited about this. Now that it's almost over, you're going, oh my God, this is awesome. The grommets are going to make my next step. I decided on it. I already know up front what my next steps are going to be, and the grommets are going to make that so much easier. Okay. This is getting faster. So practice does make perfect, kids. Okay. That one's a little close. Maybe that one should be just on the outside of that. There we go. So make sure that you're all the way through the fabric before you tilt, right? You don't want anything to shift before you can get to it. And you're talking about a hole. You're talking about pushing your thing through to a hole that's going to measure millimeters. Like this is, what did this one say it was? Oh, no, that's not the one. Yeah, 5 30-seconds of an inch. That's how big this hole is going to be. 3.96, not even half a centimeter, 3.96 millimeters. Yeah, take your time. First few are hard. Think of a project you really don't give a shit about and use them as the, and use those as you're learning how to use the materials project. Okay. Get all this picked up because it's going to take me one bad move to have this. This wasn't really expensive either. It's only about $4 for a pack of this stuff. Just and they don't come in this kind of a, well, the ones I got don't come in that kind of a container, but that's okay. Okay, now I am so all about cheating. Okay, that's gonna sit like that. That's gonna sit like that. Let's get 2 at a time, 2 or 3. Let's see if we can do 3. 1, 2. I have a third one. I'm just getting straight to the binding because I already know what I want to do with this. Check out what I found in my stash. Check out what I'm throwing all over the floor. I found that in my stash. So we're going to start with, what's going to be the top? That's the top, right? Yeah, that's going to be the top. Because I think when I open it, yeah, I'll be opening it like that. So you can use a darning needle or whatever you have, but I am all about repurposing from other things. And this is a needle threader. This little guy, this, you can barely see it. That is a needle thread. Oh, there's a picture of it in the back. Okay. I'm not going to thread my needle with it, but I am definitely going to use, that's my thing. I'm going to get that and open it up a little bit. Make that a little bit bigger. Let's see how many of these I can stuff through. Because this is big enough. Come on. If I can get all 3 of these through, oh my God, if I can see what I'm doing. No, go through. If I can't get it through, I'll just do 2, or I'll add another one later or do whatever. There we go. Okay, I got 3. So I've got 3 of these. I've got 3 of these on a wire needle threader. So we are going to go from the back through the grommet hole. I literally cannot see the wire. I have to feel for it. Okay. Lots and lots and lots of extra. Let that sit there. Through that hole. Oh no, front to back. Front to back. Through that hole. And through that hole. Now, I already figured this out because of other stuff that I do. So what I'm going to do for right now, right this minute, I'm going to take the 2 ends, okay? And I am just going to tie them together. And I'm not doing anything else with these. But these are done, right? If I pull these tight, those are done. I'm just going to leave them loose, okay? Because I've got to get everything else on here now, okay? 3 more. I put down my threader. Now I can't find it. It is that hard to see. For me. Did I leave it? I thought I took it off. Well, I've got more of them. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. I found it. I found it. I found it. I found it. That's over here. Okay. Put that right there so I don't lose it this time. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Take these off. Do. So what's everybody else doing today? I got some work to finish. I got some mini bags to put in the shop. They just need to be finished up first. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, this hand? Nope, this hand. Okay, I love these little wires because they are so versatile with things that you can do, but they are hard to see. Okay, there we go. One fell out. Where did it go? Hey. One fell out, but I found the grommet that I dropped earlier, so I can put that away. Okay. Okay. Today's bending forward 1,500 times exercise is dropping shit on the floor. Okay. There was already one down there. I don't know when that fell. I probably did that when I dropped the hammer. Yeah, hammer and just make sure that whatever way you put them through, you put them all through in the same direction. I guess it doesn't really matter all that much, but okay. So we're going to follow the same path on the next set. In from the front on the one side, in from the front on the side that you want to be the front. Get them all lined up. This is why I don't want to tighten everything up, because I can just go right through there, front to back. Come out the back. Do not get it mixed up with the stuff you've already done. It's okay if it looks like a mess. I'm working on a sling bag. I made a test yesterday, FAFO with many mistakes. Yeah, FAFO sewing is fun. Okay, I got to put this over here where I can see it. And then I'm going to get back here. I am just taking my time and making sure that I do this right. I'm working on a sling bag. I made a test yesterday. FAFO with many mistakes. I'm going to be making notes for what I want to modify, need to pay closer attention to, nothing too exciting. Okay, honestly, at the end of the day, if I were to, now that I've done one of these, if I were to sit down and do another one, it would probably look a lot less exciting because there's no because the FAFO part's done, right? But, okay, so just do that. And then get the next three. Oh, it doesn't matter which three I take. No, I found a really cool pattern for a bag that I might want. I found a pattern for a really cool bag that Lisa and I both really like, but we never ever use it. But I gotta make another couple of tote bags because we use them. There it is. Okay. I swear to God, I should put a really, really bright something on this. These types of little these wire type. I don't have a price. These are only like $2 for a 4-pack when they're on sale. They're not expensive. At least they weren't expensive when I got them. God knows the price of everything has changed, so who knows now. Okay. Get those in there. Okay. There it is. Man. No, really, it's okay. I can just drop everything. Okay, so go in from the front. Get it all lined up. Oops. Get it all lined up. Front to back. Come on. You moved. You shifted. Don't shift. I shifted. There we go. Not going to complain because these things are if these things are worth it if you need to string stuff. Yeah, I tried to catch it between my fingers at the back and then it shifted and I lost my grip on it. Come on. There we go. Make sure nothing's tangled. What was that one? Oh, see, that one's tangled. Make sure it's not tangled. Make sure nothing's tangled. Front to back. Now, I'm just going to let that hang for a second. I know it's only $2. I know they're cheap. I know they're easy to get more of them, but I don't want to have to make a trip over me being silly. And I definitely don't want the dogs to get their little faces wrapped around these things. So especially Bruno, he investigates everything by sniffing aggressively. So anyway, I'm just going to put that away. Come on, get in there. Okay, fine. Just get into the old way then. I'm just going to put these away so that they're out of the way. And then I'll come back and tie this one off. Okay. Still going to tie it off because I'm still fucking around. I want to hear more about this sling bag, though. Are you talking about like a single? Are you talking about the one that kind of ends up looking like a backpack, but it just goes over one shoulder? Okay. Is everything lined up properly? Yes, it is. Because if I go pull, well, if I grab everything. There we go. Okay. Okay, I knew it was going to be a little like all over the place. Does that retie? Of course not. I don't want all four of them though. Okay. I'm just going to cut this. If I had a vise of some kind, then I'd probably just put it on a vise. Surgeon's knot. Instead of going through once, go through twice. Get it in there tight. Get that there. Can I get all three of them through? Of course not. I shouldn't have put that thing away. So, I got them all through. Okay. And that can go. Nope, that can't go there. I got to make my knot first. I've got to make my actual knot first. And it's okay if it's a little loose. That's the idea. I'm trying to make one small enough to be able to take to events and places with bag policies, and wanted something that would be in the front for security. Yeah. I keep my wallet in my front pocket. Okay, that one's a little tight. There we go. Let's get that a little bit looser. I don't mind if it's a little loose. Okay, that one's like that. Now I'm going to put this through. I've made larger ones for my husband that he loves, but I'm trying to scale down now. Isn't it weird how scaling down can seem like such a big thing? Okay, come on. You can do it. I can do it. Yes, I can. I popped it through the first time when it wasn't going to work. On the second time. There. Now I've got a little thing here. One. I know there's better ways to do knots. I just never thought to look anything up today, so I didn't. 2. And we'll just trim that like that. Get it about the same length as what's already there. 1. And then these are going to be super simple. Let's open those up. I want to open it up because I want my knot to be tight, but I don't want it to be pulling. I don't know how to describe this. Come on, you get over here. Now, I'm not being intentionally wasteful here. This is actually leftover cord from other projects that I usually end up throwing away. Yeah, boho romantic. I want to make some more of those types of bags. I just never get around to it. So 3 and then 2. I can do that a couple times on this one. I'm not 100% convinced that this cord is going to hold, but it doesn't have to because I should have done that with the other one. That's okay. I'm just going to leave it long for now and see what I think. I'm not sure that I'm going to want a bunch of stuff off the back. I'm not the super decorative type. Okay, so that's just a regular. Is this a regular knot? But instead of going under once, I go under twice. Apparently it's called a surgeon's knot, but I wouldn't know. And I just do a regular knot on top of that. Oh, you know what I can do? You know what I can do? I can come in. Yeah, this one here, I'm just going to trim up closer. I'm going to trim all of these closer. It's fine. It's fine that they can be a little bit whatever. Oh, you know what I could be doing? Okay, let's do that. Do. Be right back. Over here. There they are. That wasn't okay. What happened there? There we go. Okay. We are going to, these are polyester. So if I do this right, I may redo this one, but like I said, I'm using extra materials that I've already got, so it shouldn't be a huge problem. I want them to touch each other. Yes. Okay. Nope, get that up here. Do it quickly. Do the stuff, not my hands. Don't do my hands. Yep, see, that one's already coming undone. But if I do this, what I want them to do is touch each other. They shouldn't. They shouldn't come undone. Yeah, this stuff's going to come undone. This is not, it's the cord. It's not anything else, but I've got other cord I can use. So I'll have to redo that later. I'll have to redo the cord later because I can already see it pop. I can already see it pulling undone. That one's holding. Nope, it's not holding at all. No, it's bad cord. It's the cord, I can tell. Okay. So here we go. Moment of truth. I could have done with having it a little bit bigger, but I don't mind. It's still the right size. I'm going to have to, yep, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I got my book cover. Is it going to stand up on its own? Barely, but it can stand up on its own. Probably not a very good camera angle. Let's go back over here. So it can more or less, no, it's okay. It's nice and sturdy. It's sturdy for, it's as sturdy as I need it to be. I could have went a little bigger, but it's fine. I'm glad I didn't, because I added, how much did I add? I added I took my measurements and added half an inch. I probably should have added it because the height is perfect. The height is perfect. But now that everything's put together here and it's going past here. Oh yeah, look, once the book is open, it's perfect. Look at that. It's staying, it's completely inside the covers. Oops, sorry, it's completely inside the covers. So this part's fine. I wonder what's going on. Something's making it. It's just pushing out once it's all closed. Oh, you know what you know what? Okay, I think maybe this area here, maybe my allowance for the back should have been, no, because it's still fitting. Look at that. It's fitting great. It's fitting great. I like it. I'm happy. I'm going to have to change out the cord. I've got lots to choose from, so I'll be fine that way. And if I just do, yeah, the cord is not going to work. Oh, maybe, I don't know. I'm sure I can make it work. Yeah, Yeah, it shouldn't pop open. It shouldn't pop open this easily, even after being scorched. So the cord's not going to work. I'll have to switch that out with something else, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. Let me just retie that one. Let me see if I can retie it without. Come on, what's my hand-eye coordination? Do I have good hand-eye coordination? Probably not. There's knots that you can put into this type of cord where it won't go anywhere. Yeah, I like the moon fabric. Okay, I like the moon fabric. I like the moon fabric. This is nice. I got this centered, so I'm happy with that. I knew it was going to be a bit high, but I saw that butterfly. When I was centering this, I was going to put this down in the center, but then I realized that butterfly was going to. I'm over here showing it to you. There's a butterfly and there's 4 butterflies along the bottom that if I were to bring this down, those would have been this, like, you would have only seen that. And there wasn't a lot going on up here. There's the back. That's what the back looks like. So yeah, this was actually, okay, this was a surprisingly easy project. I would definitely do it again. If anybody thinks they're going to, you could try a ring like on a binder or maybe some type. Now I could do that. But I'm not sure that I'd like it, because any ring that I would put on would be coming out the back. I think I absolutely intended to have a little dongle and that sort of stuff, but I think I should have just picked it. I've got other cord I can use. I've got other types of cord I can use, so I don't have to. I can change it out. I mean, it's not like I didn't go to the fabric store and spend money to get any of these materials. This is all material that I already had, right? Extra material from other projects. So that part's fine. If I could do rings. I could do the rings. If I did the rings. Sorry, I'm going to stop and start. My brain is buffering. If I did the rings, then all I would need to do is like make a whatever, right? And have it coming down the back, have an extra piece down the back over top of the rings. So then I would just sew it in. I would put in the rings and then I would just sew this in. And then the rings would be covered. So I could do the rings. But yeah, this was actually a really easy. This was a really easy project, and because I was using polyester batting, I don't have to do any fancy. I don't have to do anything with it. I can leave it nice and puffy. But yeah, it's kind of like a glorified placemat that I popped holes in and put the grommets on and turned it into a book cover. So it's not difficult. I'm very happy with it, and now I have an actual book. And like I said, I'll figure this out. I was hoping that scorching it. I know what you're talking about, where it's got like the whatever's needing to put papers and stuff like that in. See, I could have added all kinds of shit like that. I could have added a pocket here and things like that. But this is what I wanted, something basic, because I'd never made one before. They have some that close and open, but for sure you don't want them to be big. Yeah, I could get them, but then I would just sew in something as a thing. I wanted it to be light and easy and quick and fun and whatever. And I also knew that I knew up front what I was doing it for too. So, I want this to be easy to use. But yeah. And now I just need to make a matching bag to go with that. But I had fun. This was fun. And it only took me 2 hours. That's what FAFO is, though. Like, I mean, for any of you that actually had the wherewithal to stick with me from beginning to end, FAFOing is 90%. If I were to sit down right now, I've already got the measurements. I could probably get one done in about 20 minutes. You could put a tab on it with Velcro to hold it closed. I could. You know what? I hate sewing Velcro. I just hate sewing it. I don't know what it is about Velcro, but I don't think I'm worried about holding it closed because I know I'm not taking it anywhere. The only place I'm going to be taking it is about 4 feet that way to store with the deck. But who knows? who knows what I'm going to do later. If I were to put on Velcro, I would, there's the kind that you just peel and stick. I'd probably use something like that. I would just be, yeah, I need them in the shop now. The problem with stuff like this, to put it in the shop, is that every single one would be custom size. And as we just saw, in spite of all my best efforts, it still does stick out a little bit. And I left enough of an allowance that shouldn't have happened. Technically shouldn't have happened, right? It's probably just pulling it. Yeah, you know what it is? I just figured it out. Okay, it's open, right? We're open. Everything's fine because when it's open, it sits beautifully. It sits perfectly within where it's supposed to be. That part's fine. You know what's going on? Because it's a fabric and it's not reinforced with anything. So this is going to be if you choose to make one of these for yourself, this is going to be your cost of doing business. As soon as it's closed, it pulls against whatever cord you're using, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen no matter what. It's going to happen because there's nothing reinforcing here. So the fabric itself, look, the fabric itself is moving. Yeah, that just popped out. I'll fix it. I'll fix it later. It'll be fine. Maybe I can fix it right now. Let me go take a quick rummage and see what I've got. Oh, that's no fun. Well, that could be fun. I don't know that would. No, I've got a fun. I've got that. Oh, that'll work. And it's not stretchy. La-la-la. That would work. Come on, come on, come on. No, I'm not trying to retie you tighter. That would work. I'm pretty sure if I can get it through these holes, it would work. Let's see if I can do this right quick. La la la, because this one here I would just sew. I would just sew this one down. No, so that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna have to figure out the come on, you can open. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Ah ha ha. Ha 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 ha. I might be able to do this live on camera. Do you know what these are? I will tell you what these are. These are makeup tweezers. These are the kind of tweezers you get. Oh, I can't see what the brand is anymore. These are the kind of tweezers that you get. I should have just done this and not bothered with that thing. Look how quick and easy this has been. You just find the pointiest tweezers that you got. Find the absolute pointiest tweezers that you've got. Pull them through, push them through, pull them back just enough that you can open them just enough to pinch your edge, and then just drag it through, and you're good to go. I bet you. Yeah, this will be fine. This one will work. This one will work because if I need to, I can just sew it down. There. Because this one, I already know for a fact that this one, when it's tied, doesn't go anywhere. This one ties like a, there, that's not going anywhere. And it's flatter. Oh, I fixed my problem. I fixed my problem. I fixed my problem. Yeah, this is what FAFO is all about, though. Fucking around, figuring out what works. Cut that at a bit of a better angle. Don't mind me. I have to spend so much time. I have to spend absolutely too much time vacuuming back here, but that's okay. It's the cost of doing business, I guess. Business as in the cost of just being able to do what I want to do, but there we go. Get it in there. Man, yep, I should not have bothered with that thing because this is going over so much better. This is like just popping right on. I should have done this from the beginning. But Let me see what happens when I switch these out. Mind you, once I switch these out, I don't think I can get that on there. Okay, that's on. Yeah. So double check it. Whatever cord you're going to use, double check that it's not going to be the kind that pops itself off. This is already coming off. This is why I'm doing it now. Cut that at an angle. Clean that one up because it's at an angle. Yeah, get that one off. This one might fix my problem. Do-do-do. 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 Come on, get up here. And I'm not dropping it all over the place. I don't mind the black. The black actually looks pretty good, too. Oh, that's actually even better. It goes right there. Come on, get out there. And once again, thank you to Blue for sending me this lovely deck and book. That was so sweet. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind the plain black. The plain black isn't hurting anything, so this is fine. Maybe I was trying too hard on the end. I don't know. Yeah, I can already feel that this is not going to shift. It's kind of going on like shoelaces. It's not coming off unless I want it to. There we go. And these, I can still come in with a lighter. I can still shorten these and then come in with a lighter. And if you give it a little, if you cut these. Oh my God, I can't even talk. This is also a polyester. So if you come in and give it a quick zap, like I was doing, how fast I was doing it, it'll just keep it from fraying. So I don't get to use this stuff though, which I was looking forward to, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll use this stuff on a different project. Maybe I'll make a bookmark for this now. I've got enough of that. I can make a bookmark. I've got plenty of, I can make this into a bookmark. There's enough for that. There's enough for that. Bookmarks are easy and they're quick. And you can make them out of damn near anything. Oh, now the knot doesn't want to let go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I'm just like, ooh, ah. I'm oohing and awing at my own work. But yeah, once it's open, it just lays out beautifully. It's fine. It's good. I like it. Yeah, this seems a lot sturdier. So yeah, double check your cord before you put it in. And that is that. I've been on for over 2 hours. So this is actually the what I use for my mini bags. I don't get to use my lace. I bought that for a project that what would I do with that? I forget what I did with that. But anyway. Okay, I gotta get going. I got other shenanigans to get up to, like making dinner and shit. So yeah, so this is done. This is done, and now I have an actual book with cover. So it's just the normal shifting. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna do something similar, and if you like what you see and you're gonna do one for yourself, just if that sticking out the edge is going to bother you, then the measurements that I was telling you about, make sure you add like an extra, like the top and bottom are fine. Add like an extra ½ inch or maybe even an inch on this side. If I had added, you know what? If I had added, I could still make one separately. If I had added like an extra like 3 or 4 inches, then yeah, somebody mentioned Velcro. If I had added an extra 3 or 4 inches, I could have done a couple of Velcro tabs and had it be a fold over. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. That one's a little tight. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna get going, guys, because if I don't go now, I'm gonna spend the next 2 or 3 hours just saying goodbye. And I'm gonna get going. I will see you guys on the next one. I haven't decided on a topic yet for Friday. Lisa reminded me that it's a lot more fun all the way around. If I prepare, it's more like a lecture. And if I just like, hey, here's the topic, then it's like, oh, have a good dinner and enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for sharing. And I learned some things. It's been fun. I'm glad you had fun. That's the thing. It's fun for everybody. I haven't decided on a topic for Friday yet, but there will be a Friday at 2:00. There will be a paranormal pondering style. I don't even know what to call it. It's not paranormal ponderings anymore, I guess. But I decided that I am not going to do homework first, because if I do homework first, I come in and it's like a lecture. I don't know how to describe it. And if I come in and go, hey, let's talk about this, I just feel like we all get more out of it if we're all just learning it as we learn. Let's learn it together. We all know something. Most of the topics we all know a little bit about some of the stuff, so nobody's getting left out. But I haven't picked the topic yet. I think Skinwalker Ranch has come up more than once, so I think that might be a good topic for Friday. Is Skinwalker Ranch. Because a lot of us keep hearing about it, and I keep hearing about it, but I keep hearing different things, and it's like, well, what's Skinwalker Ranch all about? So that might be a fun one to talk about. And thanks for hanging out with me while I did this. I now have a new book that I made myself, and I will see you guys soon. So you guys have a great day. Stay out of trouble, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.